Hello and welcome to another BeamNG video. We are back to the road car rally tournament, where we haven't driven that many of the very heavy American cars around. So that's what we are doing today. We have the Gavril Barstow and the Gavril Bluebuck. They are both the old versions of the car, like the beat up versions, because those were the only ones that fit category 4, because we're doing the same performance category, so that we can compare with last time. We have the Brockwell Legrand, which is the only front-wheel drive, and we went with the banger version because that's again the one that fit the performance category. And for the Burnside Special, it's actually a race build, so it has race suspension and quite a lot of power, but it can just not put it down anywhere. So we're off. As you can see, we have pretty similar cars in most senses, even though they're really quite different. I have to say that the Legrand in the bottom left felt fastest because it was quite nimble with its front-wheel drive, but it's slightly slower off the start line already because it's front-wheel drive, of course. And you can see that the top two are really quite close to each other. I mean, so far everyone's close, even though I thought that Burnside Special on the bottom right was going to be much faster because it has way more power to put down. It feels like it has way more power to put down actually, but yeah, because it's race road built, it really doesn't put it down as well as it could. Um, this corner was dangerous for all of them, but by now the Gavril Barstow in the top left has really pulled ahead quite a bit already. Went a little bit off track with it, but we're all good, I think. And yeah, the I was a little bit surprised that the bottom two were not performing as well as they were. Because when I was racing them, I mean, I obviously didn't have the others to compare to. I really felt like they were going to be faster. But the Gavril Barstow is just steaming ahead. I feel like it already has the win by now. Because there's only going to be more straights coming that are just going to be very good for the Gavril Barstow because it's one of the more powerful cars. It can put the power down really well. However, the rest of the field is now quite close together, all reaching that hay bale pretty much at the same time. Um, Afraid that the Legrand, the front wheel drive, the bottom left, is a little bit behind. But there will be moments for the Burnside later on to put its power down. Because so far it's just been struggling, and it's really bad for this corner, for example. But later there will be a couple of places where it can power down, and hopefully it can catch up a little bit. Um, at this point, for example, it's going up the hill. That would be quite useful. By now, the Gavril Barstow is just way ahead. It's already at the end of the straight, whilst the other two on the right side are, and I on the left side are just getting to it. It's a bit of a mess having four cars on screen. They thought it would be quite fun because they're really quite close in how well they're doing. Except that right now, the bottom two are actually really behind a little bit because they didn't make it through the last corners very well. They really need more grip for that and a little bit more power. The Barstow is already on the downhill part, which is really quite far ahead from the other two. At the moment, the blue buck in the top right is a little bit ahead, and the bottom two take this jump exactly at the same moment. So it'll be interesting to see who can take the rest of this corner faster. Unfortunately, the Burnside Special on the bottom right is so slow. The Barstow actually already finishes, but the Burnside Special was really bad for that because it was bumpy and it has race suspension. So it just bumped and flew around. Same as right now, it's bumping around and it actually didn't even finish the race. So I kind of had to guesswork what time I would give it, really, if it had continued and hit the cinder block. All right, on to the times. As you can see, the ones that we've just added are in red. The Gavril Barstow was really fast. It was actually not faster than the Covet, but I mean, this is not an exact enough science to make a difference for here, really. I'd say they did equally well, which was surprising, honestly, because the Covet did really well. The Gavril Bluebuck, actually not that great, and came in together with the Civetta Bolide. Um, and the Brockwell Legrand and the Burnside Special, the banger car and the race tuned car came in a little bit later. Still not as slow as the Piccolina and the D series that we tried last time, but not faster than any of the others. Although quite close to the ECK I series, and again so close that it might have the Brocco Legrand at least is so close that it might as well have been the same time. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.